You're into otaku culture, right? We've all been there, at the edge of our seats watching the main character struggle to defeat a powerful foe after agonizing for so long trying to land attacks, getting his shit punched in, only to see the final boss spawn a second health bar. Eventually, the MC has an insane comeback with the power of God and anime by his side, saving the day, getting the girl, and making us viewers go crazy. But what happens when the main character doesn't win? I'm sure there are a lot of examples of this in media. I mean, The Legend of Zelda has a whole timeline where Link loses to Ganon after Ocarina of Time. But for this video, I want to take a look at Bibliomania, where Biblio clearly means book and Mania obviously means mania. Now this manga is a pretty short read, so if you want to go check it out for yourself, you can go ahead and do that and then come back to watch this video, please. I'm begging you. As readers, you and me, we both have the ability to interpret media in different ways. A lot of the times, it doesn't really matter what the creator intended for their work to be, because at the end of the day, the way you enjoy it, the way you read it, is what makes an impact. It's the whole reason why Evangelion fans keep giving the anime a deeper meaning, even though Anno has stated countless times that there is no deeper meaning. So for Bibliomania, even though this little girl is clearly the main character, for me, this guy is the main character. I mean, just look at him. Doesn't he look like a swell guy? So this character is the Serpent, and he's the keeper of the manor, a magical place with the ability to grant the deepest desires of men, no matter how beautiful or dark they are. The girl, Alice, is a guest in the manor. Her room is the one with the number 431. Every time a new guest arrives, a new room is added to the manor, which means that Alice is guest 431, there being 430 guests aside from her, and guest 666 being the last. Only then will the great banquet start for all the invited. So, Alice tries to leave, because in her eyes, living without the struggle of life isn't living at all. But there's just one problem here. Her body will rot if she doesn't stay in her room, leading her to death. But the little girl has resolve. She has a fighting spirit. She'd rather die than have to live by the laws of the room. Her humanity yearns for the outside, for real life. So, she sets off. And you might be thinking to yourself, Indigo, why do you think this guy is the main character when Alice is clearly the one on a journey? Well, like I said, it's all about interpretation. You see, in my eyes, the Serpent is the one that's affected the most throughout the telling of the story. Time and time again, he reminds Alice of the rot, of the wonderful things she could experience if she just went back and stayed in her room. He gets cocky, like a villain. His internal monologue snickers at the idea that Alice will eventually die. It's amusing to him. He believes that everything is under his control. The story progresses, and we see Alice explore the desires of other guests. A young man that repeatedly sentences his school bully to death as he casts judgment upon evil. A woman that, after wanting freedom, turned into a bird. A shut-in that plays the hero in his own fantasies. And it's here where you start to think to yourself, so, this is a manga that shows you that living in a lie isn't really living at all. Alice is following her truth to the point where it's literally breaking her. But even though the Serpent still offers her an alternative, she ignores him until she finally succumbs to the rot. In a totally expected turn of events, she's able to purify herself over and over and over again. It turns out that she also has the power of God and anime on her side. But that's not really the case, because there's always going to be a bigger fish. You see, for me, the Serpent is the main character. Not because he's the character that's drawn the most throughout the manga, or because he's the character that we follow the most throughout the whole story, but because when I read this manga, he was the character that I felt the most sorry for. He thought he was the main character of his own story, but it turns out he was barely a side character in hers. Thanks for watching.